Okay. So far we have been talking about file forensics, starting from hard disk forensics. We talk about how to analyze storage media, how to analyze the volume, and last week, 2 weeks before, we analyzed the FAN file system. We went through the FAN file system and did some in-class exercise. So from today, we're moving up to upper layers, like application data, and also memory and the executables. So today we're going to talk about email forensics. So basically, email forensics is a way we investigate email crimes and all kinds of violations related to email. So we all know how important this is because of the election, and also 10 years ago there was a company called Enron. I think it's called Enron, right? Enron. So the FDA also used email forensics to investigate the Enron case. So this is very important in practice. So basically, what is an email system? What are the components in an email system? So first, we have some user agents, and those are the softwares everyone uses to compose, edit, and read emails. So those kind of agents can be standalone, something like Outlook, or we can also use some web-based mail like your Gmail or Yahoo.com. So when you use Gmail or Yahoo.com, you're not running any special standalone email applications on your computer. You're just using a browser. So there are some differences, and it will make the forensics different too. So today in our exercise, we are analyzing some files for some specific user agents like Outlook. But in the paper presentation, one of the paper presentation we'll talk about web email, how to do forensics on web mails. Actually, that is a paper from our lab. So you see, we are actually doing research in this area. So besides the user agent, we also have mail servers. So mail servers are the actual machines that send and receive emails on users' behalf. So when you send out email to someone else, you are not directly sending the email to that guy. It's not point to point. You are sending the email to an email server, and that email server will probably forward it to another email server. And when your friend wants to see his inbox, his user agent will retrieve email from the corresponding mail server. So it's not point to point. Because there are so many entities in this system, there are also many protocols. There are at least 3 protocols involved. The one is called SMTP, Simple Mail Transfer Protocol. This is usually the protocol your Outlook used to send mail from your local machine to your mail server. And there are POP3 and IMAP4, and those are the protocols to retrieve emails from your mail server. But if you are using webmail, you are using an HTTP-based service, obviously your browser is just using HTTP to communicate with the web server, and the web server may talk with a mail server. So in that case, HTTP is also involved. So those protocols, we can say they are application layer protocols. So which means most of them, 3 of them, they are all built on top of TCP actually. So this will be important in network forensics because if you want to extract information from network logs, then you should know that you are looking for TCP streams. And on top of that, it could be SMTP or COM. So like I said, there are basically two different user agents. The first one is standalone applications, Outlook, Thunderbird, or this is for Mac. So all those applications, they will use POP3 or IMAP4 to receive and download email from an email server, and use SMTP to send out emails to a mail server. So if you are using Gmail and you want to enable your Gmail to push mails to your Outlook, so you have to configure your Gmail settings. So in Gmail settings, you can enable IMAP or POP3. So after this, you can use your Outlook to retrieve email from your Gmail account and also send emails using your Gmail account, actually using your Outlook. So in that case also, you have to specify who is the mail server. So in this case, this is a mail server, and you have to configure that on your Outlook. So email has been widely used right now. So probably you send and receive more than 20 emails every day. And you send the emails to strangers you don't know on internet, and you also send emails to your colleagues, your friends. Some of those emails do not have to go through internet. It's just in a local network. Depends on who you are sending to. If you are sending to someone in another country, probably will go through multiple mail servers. But if you, let's say you are at SU and you just want to send an email to one of your SU friends, probably it will just go through 2-3 mail servers and do not have to go to the internet. So because the email architecture is not point to point, so there are a lot of servers and they are distributed. And all the clients, obviously, they are distributed. So the email software, usually they are installed separate from the operating system. So like Outlook, so they have their own directories and data files. So if you want to extract or recover some email information from a safe hard disk, you need to try to find the email software's directory. You have to understand what are those files. So that is what we are going to do in the exercise today. So if we are using browser to do it, it's much more complicated because the browsers do not necessarily store your email information. So when you use a browser to visit your Gmail account, your email is not necessarily stored there. And if it is, it will not be stored in a very formatted way, a very structured way. And the server side, usually we just run the mail server applications. There are many open source projects to do that. Like I said, it's not point to point. So every time this is your box, and every time you want to check if you have a new email, your computer, your Outlook will send a message to the mail server. Do you have a mail from me? And if there is, the mail server will send it to your Outlook. So it's not like you are directly talking with your friend. You're just talking with the mail server. And your friend probably talking with another mail server. And those mail servers, they can talk with each other using the previous protocols. So here is the protocols we're using. Let's say we have Alice. Alice has an email account at this mail server. And when Alice sends an email to anyone using her account, her application will use SMTP to send a message to this mail server. And this mail server where you use internet to send this email to Bob's mail server. But obviously, a lot of things can happen in between here. First, this mail server has to know the IP address of this mail server, but probably it's not specified in IP address. Probably it is specified in domain names. So DNS will be involved. So this mail server needs to figure out what is the IP address of this mail server using DNS. After that, find the IP address, then this mail server will just construct a SMTP packet, SMTP message, sending email from this server to this server. However, the SMTP is actually built on top of TCP, which means there are a lot of routers in the internet will help sending this mail from here to here. And after it arrives here at the Bob's mail server, whenever Bob wants to check his inbox, his client will use POP3 or IMAP4 to retrieve those emails. So you can see that if the email is not encrypted, if it's plain data, so there are many locations in this path we can intercept that email. So when we do email forensics, we're not only talking about recover email from hard disk. Try to because in hard disk we're talking about files. We're not only talking about that. We're also talking about how we can extract emails from mail servers, and also how we can hijack emails in this data path. But obviously there are a lot of legal issues. So if you want to seize someone's mail server or seize someone's account in another public mail server, it will be very complicated. And also, this is why if you set up your own mail server, it will be hard for people to access your email. So, but if we're using webmail, this is what we have. You have a browser, you visit your, you just use your browser to visit this. So obviously, if you're using a browser, this is not a standalone application, and this application will not use browser will only use HTTP. Browser will not use those protocols. So what usually happens is this is your browser, and it's browser. The browser will talk with a web service, a HTTP server, using HTTP. And the HTTP server will have another channel to talk with the SMTP client, SMTP server. So in this case, it's like we are adding another layer here. Browser and HTTP server, and the HTTP server will talk with the mail server on behalf of the browser and on behalf of the user. Then the actual transmit of the email still goes through the previous channel. We're still using SMTP to transfer email from different mail servers. And it is the same at the recipient side. The recipient can use the HTTP client, the browser, and the browser will talk with the HTTP server. The HTTP server will try to retrieve mails from SMTP servers. So in this case, for forensics guys, there is another way for us to retrieve emails that's from the HTTP server. So by adding another layer there, giving us more opportunities to recover emails. So what does an email actually look like? So usually it's basically very similar to the idea of physical mail. So first we have like an envelope, and the envelope specifies where this email is from and who this email is sending to. And there are also headers. The headers has more information, including who this is from, where this is true, and also some other data like time, this was sent, what is the subject, and also the body of the email. And obviously, there can be attachment, and also there are a lot of redundant information in the headers, and also with this email goes through another mail server, because it probably will go from one mail server to another mail server, and the mail servers, they will add some information in the header, so we can actually trace the data path from the source to the destination. So here is an example how the SMTP is used to actually transfer the email. So SMTP, like we said, this is an application mail protocol. It is built on top of HTTP, built on top of TCP. So it is an ASCII-based protocol. It's not binary. So TCP is kind of like a binary protocol. In TCP, you cannot say human readable strings there. But on top of TCP, probably you are familiar with HTTP. HTTP, you see a lot of human readable strings, like get this URL, and its response is always 200, 400, something readable. But in TCP, arrows is just stored in different bit locations. And at application level, a lot of protocols they are using ASCII, so it's easier to implement. And at that layer, usually people do not care about the performance that much. But actually, right now, HTTP is moving to the next version. It's called HTTP 2. And HTTP 2 is not ASCII-based anymore. HTTP 2 is like binary-based, and adding more compression. So one of the reasons is right now everyone is using browser to do everything. You use your browser to get your email. You use your browser to watch videos. So 10 years ago, probably don't use your browser to watch videos. We don't have YouTube at that time. Probably not. But you may have another standalone application to watch online streams. And also, previously we used special, maybe 15 years ago, we used some special software to download documents, But now you just use browser to do everything. If you want to download anything, you also use browser. So because of that, people are trying to make HTTP, because HTTP is like the underlying protocol for other protocol, trying to make HTTP more compact. So they are moving HTTP from an ASCII protocol to a binary protocol. But SMTP still stays of this ASCII based. So basically, how we send a mail is this is your, let's say, your Outlook, and this is your mail server. So your Outlook will first establish a TCP connection with the server. Then, and this is the message it sends, just ASCII. It will send mail from this email address, meaning the rest of the session, I'm going to send an email from this mail address, and the server will just return 250 OK. It's kind of like in HTTP 200 OK. And then, which means I have received the first line. Then the client will just send the second line, which is this is a recipient, and also OK. Then the client will send the data, and also the servers will always return the status if we accept it or not. So, and also like HTTP, this kind of protocol use black lines to separate different sections of this message. So in HTTP, 2 new lines is used to separate the header and the body. No, it's a header and the content. So the same thing for SMTP. And also, if you have attachment, something like that, will also be separated by 2 black lines. So So because this protocol is ASCII based, so all those email attachments, they have to be encoded. That's why you say something like base 64 to encode. If you want to send a battery, it will be encoded into something human real, like ASCII, or that's called MIME. So when you do forensics, sometimes probably you have to convert those things back to the original forms. Yeah.
The attachments are down here, then what's the data that's up there?
So this is actually before this is like the header part. So probably some other metadata. So if we see this from a forensic perspective, there are many things we are trying to discover. First, we want to discover deleted emails. We want to discover emails that is not supposed to be found. And we also, if we discover an email, we want to trace who sent that, which mail server it came from, because the headers, like we say in the protocol, those headers were sent by the client. So sometimes those headers are non-trustworthy. They can be spoofed. But some metadata, because the metadata was written by mail servers, sometimes it's more trustworthy. So we need to decide which fields we are going to trust. And in a corporation, if we get an email address or email, and it's a corporation email address, usually it's very easy to identify who is the guy behind it, because those email addresses they are assigned by local administrator. So when you use an email, and obviously ASU knows you are associated with that email address. But if you use a public email address, it will be very tricky. It's hard to link an actual person with that email address. So a very, very interesting story. So last semester, there was Dr. Anna Dupe was teaching software security, which is a very interesting topic. Oh, sorry, another story. Sorry, another story. So there was a student in that. So it's a very interesting class. So he had like a catch the flag saying like a contest. Everyone has a virtual machine, and you have to attack each other's virtual machine to exploit others' virtual machine. So one day, very interesting, we got an email from a student saying that he's being phished. Another student, one student in that class emailed everyone else in that class and pretending to be Dr. Lupe and saying that I just want to check your progress. Can you send me your code, your exploit code? So that student, he registered an account at gmail.com. So it's like adam.what.lupe@gmail.com. So very interesting. So there is no way for Adam to find who's behind this, right? Because it's a public email address. You cannot go to Google and ask who's behind this. Even if Google has some information, it may not be correct. So Adam did something very smart here. So he actually sent out an exploit to that student. But that exploit is different from a regular exploit. That exploit, he adds some more code there, he will leave a trace who is the user, who is the user who is actually running this code. So because of that, that student run that exploit because he doesn't know what to do. He just run that exploit, and in that computer, left some trace there saying this is a account who run this code. And all other students, they don't have this exploit. So that is how he catched that student. Very funny story. So be careful when you like this class. Okay. So what kind of email crimes or violations we are talking about here? There kinds of crimes could be associated with email. The first one is spam. So in some states, actually spamming is illegal. But this is a very serious problem. So you probably have been receiving a lot of spams every day, and right now, Gmail, they have relatively good mechanisms to identify spam. And they have a spam folder, but how many times you find some valuable email in your spam folder? So still, it's not, the algorithm, the mechanism is not perfect. So a lot of botnet, I'm not sure if you've heard of the word botnet. The botnet is basically a group of compromised computers. And sometimes it can be millions of computers. And one of the ways for those botnet owners to make money is to sending out spams. So they send out a lot of spams one day or two and get some money for that. So also a lot of other crimes can be related to email. We have some a lot of because of the content, not because it's just spamming. So all those they can provide evidence in the court. So obviously, like we said, if we want to examine emails, two ways, several ways. First is access victims or suspect's computer, try to retrieve the evidence, which means usually in this case we're trying to recover evidence from some standalone applications like Outlook. And also in the presentation, one of the presentation today, we're going to say how we can retrieve email evidence from weapons. So this is usually how it looks like, and all kinds of things. So today we're going to use FTK to do this as well. So first you need to use FTK to recover the deleted file, and then you need to use FTK to read that file, try to identify what is in that guy's inbox or deleted logs, all kinds of mailbox. So we talked a little bit about the email headers, and those are information used to trace how the email actually get from the source to the destination, and some of the information are trustworthy, some are not. And usually if you're using Outlook or you're using Gmail, usually you don't really save those headers because as a user, you don't have to see those headers. But as a forensic analyst, you need to know where to find those headers. For example, if you are using Gmail, they have a link here to show the original, and if you click show original, you can see all the email headers, something like this. So you can see there are many fields like received, there are multiple received things that have been forwarded multiple times, and there are content type, and a letter received, and also other headers starting with X. Those are probably customized. Some of them are customized headers because going back to that protocol, you can send anything here. So you can send your own header and a key and value there. And the server side will just accept it. The server side knows it's a header because it is before the blank. So there are some customized headers to maybe to track people, some counting, something like that. So the most important headers, first is from, basically who this message is from, but this is not necessarily reliable because this is what client told the mail servers, and the reply to return paths, basically they are the address to which replies should be sent. And they are also not trustworthy. Sometimes there are message IDs, and this is a unique string assigned by the mail system. So this is not something sent by your client, but by the mail system. And also received, So all kinds of headers. There are just so many headers in the email. So if you read the papers or you are interested in this, you will find so many headers there. And also because they have customized headers, things can get really complicated. So okay, we can skip this one. So this is usually what an email header looks like. And by reading this, we can build this data paths, but sometimes it's not trustworthy, like I said. So we will just skip this one. More. So today, we're going to analyze one email file. That file is a Microsoft Outlook file. Extension is PST. So basically, the PST is like a file that can include everything in one of your account. So usually what you have in your account, you have an inbox, you have outbox, you have deleted folders, everything. So everything they will be stored in this PST file, and also draft, and also personal address book. Everything can be stored there. So today we're going to analyze one PST file using FTK. So if we want to trace an email message, trace the data paths, we can examine each field in the email header, record all the domain names, the IP addresses of the senders, and we also need to analyze the content of the email and determine if there is any crime or violation committed, and also attachment. So a lot of phishing or spamming, they will attach some malicious applications. So usually there will be executables. So when there is a special kind of phishing, which is very popular now, it's called severe phishing. So basically, the adversaries, they somehow already know the structure of a company. They know who is working on what. So they are not spamming or phishing the whole company. They are just sending targeted phishing emails to those targeted people. For example, 2 days ago, I talked to a friend working in SOC. I don't know if you know what is SOC. SOC is a Security Operation Center. So all the big companies have their own SOC. So in SOC, they have many analysts. So their job is to monitor their network, monitor their website. When there is an attack, they need to stop that attack immediately. So they say a lot of weird things, and they also try to bring awareness to their own employees. So they also phish their own employees. So a very interesting thing is he works for one of the biggest bank in UK. So he said they did a phishing campaign to their own employees. So they send out to all employees, and it's obviously a fake phishing. But the employees didn't really know it's a fake phishing. So there is an application there. So if the employee clicks the application or clicks the link, they can know who clicks this. So they phished their own employees more than 10,000 times. And 35 clicked that link. 35%. So then they spend half a year to teach them and try to bring them awareness. So they did the test again, and the number went up to 36%. So this is very funny. So those people, so they are not really, the other employees, they are not technical guys. So it's not like companies have to do. Everyone is like a developer or something. So yeah, very interesting. So like I said, besides using what we learned from hardware forensics, we can also use network forensics to find to recover emails, because emails will go through multiple mail servers, they will go through all the routers, go through all the firewalls. So technically, if we have enough information in those routers, firewalls, intrusion detection systems, also retrieve some email information. So this are the protocols we already talked about. For example, this is email. This is a network logs. So you can see that a lot of UDP packets, a lot of. So this is like a firewall logs. We're going to drop all the UDP packets from this address to this address, and from the log, sometimes we can discover some email information. So obviously here, someone is using POP3 to retrieve email, and someone's using SMTP to send out email. So all those information can also be obtained from the network side. But we will probably cover this more in network forensics. Today we are still focusing on hard disk forensics and analyze email files. So another part of the email system is the email servers. Obviously, the email servers they also know everything. As long as you are not using end-to-end encryption, the email server knows everything. So there is one way to encrypt your email to like end-to-end. You want to send an email to someone else, only you and that guy knows how to decrypt that. So there is a protocol called PGP. So PGP is widely used, but it's not really only designed for email. Typically, you can use PGP for any instant message. When you talk with your friend, use what do you use? WhatsApp, something like that. Yeah. So if you use, let's say you use WhatsApp, typically you are sending a message to the WhatsApp server, right? So the server saves your message, but you can use PGP to encrypt that, and it's just some ASCII code. Then your friend will use another PGP encryptor to encrypt that. So what the WhatsApp server saves is just the encrypted message. So PGP has been there for like 20 years probably, and when Snowden, Edward Snowden, sent out the information, he disclosed he was using PGP to send out the information. So there was an interview happened maybe several months ago, not the Oliver one, another one. There was a live interview, and the Snowden was there, and the guy who invented PGP was also there. So the first thing John Snowden said is, I want to sack the guy who invented PGP, because he made all this possible. So if it's not encrypted, everything can be retrieved from the email server. And the email servers, there are all kinds of email servers. On Linux systems, we have SendMail, and there are a lot of configuration files. If we read those configuration files, we can know that where those emails are stored. Those are the configuration files. We can find where the emails are stored, for example, the mail log. And also for Windows, Windows has its own mail server called Microsoft Exchange Server, and they also store everything in their server. So that's another way. Also, Gmail, they will store everything. So that is another way to do email forensics. So basically, those are the logs, and because in the Windows system, it also can use registry. What is called registry? Registry is like a database in the Windows system. So there are also some tools. The one we are going to use today, still FTK, and there are other tools like Inboxer. It can systematically analyze emails. It can do some visualization, say which user emailed another user. For example, this is Inboxer. And also, let's take Outlook Express as an example, how to do analysis, because this is what we are going to do today. So basically, all the forensics, you need to understand the data structure. You understand, because when you get more like more asking, you need to understand which part is what is the meaning of that part. So there are, in Outlook, they use a repository file called DBX and also PST. So we need to understand the structure of those files. Today we're just using PST, not DBX. So, but all those structures is very similar to what we did in hard disk forensics. We will always give you a table to say what does that mean, and you need to rebuild that hierarchical structure from those tables. So we'll skip this. Okay. So the last one. So the how do you pronounce this? Enron. So it was a big company 10 or 15 years ago, a Wall Street company, and if you Google Enron scandal, you will find a lot of news articles about it. So what happened there, I'm talking about forensics, is a lot of emails were acquired, and a lot of emails were made public. So a lot of researchers from universities, they are interested in analyze the relationship between each users, how they actually committed the crime, everything. And using those tools, we can visualize the Enron data set, who emailed who, how often they email each other, and all those notes. The different colorings, different things. This is very interesting. This data set is still public, it's still available online. I think it was made available by MIT, and still a lot of researchers, because this can be also used to do some kind of social analysis. This is kind of like a small in-company social network. So, so this is also the application of email forensics. Okay, so the rest of today's class, first we have 2 paper presentations on email forensics. Each of them will be 20 minutes. Then we will have an in-class exercise to recover deleted PST files and to recover the emails in that file. So who will be the first person?
Slides on my Google Drive.
Okay.